What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Sports Planet podcast. I'm joined today by Gio Galvez. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's thank you for having me here. It's gonna be wonderful, great topics, and it's honestly great to see you back again, Brandon, bro. It's been like a year
Yep,
since
likewise.
we even talked, so I'm glad
Yeah, man, it's been
talk
a while.
sports with you again.
Yeah, it's been a while. For those who don't know, Gio, he currently is the co-host of his own podcast, Sideline Thoughts. I'll make sure to link that in the show notes, so people can check that out. And me and Gio go back to like CSUN, always debating on Clippers versus Lakers or anything sports related, As I like to mess around with him, and I tell him he's the Skip Bayless to my Shannon Sharp because you know how Skip over here with those outlandish takes. But we'll get to that later, But thank you for joining us today. Yeah, go ahead.
Then they're not that outlandish, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. Nah. Thanks for being on the episode today. Appreciate you taking time out of your day. And on today's episode, we'll be covering the NFL's recent moves. Free agency has been going on for about just the new calendar year just started on March 15th. But we'll be talking about all the recent moves that's going on. And we'll see if we have a little bit of time at the end to bicker about our favorite LA basketball teams. So obviously, Gio, the biggest topic as of right now in the NFL is Aaron Rodgers' pending move to the Jets. I want to get down to that, but I also want to go through over some of the other moves that have been going on. But once we're done with the moves, just going through what's been going on, we'll come back to the Aaron Rodgers, and I'll get your take as a but as a Green Bay Packer fan.
Yeah, man.
So
it's tough, but we'll get to it.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of moves recently. The first move that I saw happen was last week. Washington Commanders, they released quarterback Carson Wentz in a move that saved about $26 million in cap space. And then after that, they signed their defensive tackle Darren Payne to a 4-year, $90 million deal. And then around the league also, Tampa Bay Buccaneers released running back Leonard Fournette. And then a couple of running backs that got the franchise tags were Josh Jacobs from the Raiders, Tony Pollard from the Cowboys, and then also tight end Evan Engram from the Jaguars. And then another big move that happened was the New Orleans Saints. They actually signed Derek Carr to a 4-year, $150 million deal. So before I get to any other moves, what do you think of this one? Because they have Jameis Winston, and he was expected to be the starter last year, but things happen. And what do you think of this signing for Derek Carr going to the Saints?
I honestly think it's good for both of them, for both parties. Derek Carr time was over in Vegas. We all know that. They were treating him bad at the end as like the scapegoat. Not to say like he was the best one there. He had his issues, but he deserved more. And what I love best about this was that he could have accepted the trade. He could have said yes to being traded to New Orleans, and he turned it down just for the Raiders not to get anything in return for them. And I just love that because, they did him so wrong. They didn't deserve to get anything in return. So, I think that was great that he did that. I'm glad that the Saints. To me, Jameis Winston was not going to be a franchise starter. If he was going to be a starter, like it was projected that he was, it was only going to be for a couple of games, but he wasn't going to lead them to a Super Bowl or anything like that. And they were going to eventually either draft or look for another quarterback. I think this is a good start for Derek Carr, get a fresh start somewhere else. And in my opinion, a better quarterback compared to Jameis Winston in Derek Carr, and someone who, who's I don't want to say less turnover. Okay, less turnovers, but he also went. James Winston went 30 for 30. 30 touchdowns, 30 turnovers. But I feel like Derek Carr is much better game manager, and just someone poised. Raiders even had a great season when he broke his ankle, right? Like that season, they were doing great. He was having a hell of a season.
Yeah.
So I just like the restart for both sides and adding new players to it, plus having They Michael Thomas is coming back. They have wide receivers with Chris Olave now, who's going to be his second year. They had a new running back, Jamal Williams from the Lions, who stepped up while Swift was hurt. Yeah, so I think that was great for the Saints, and they're finding their way of building them. Okay, moving up, because in my opinion, I think Saints are the team to win the NFC South. I think the Saints could win the NFC South. So I think it was great for both sides and the restart.
No, yeah, the Saints definitely are gearing themselves up for a potential division title this year. They definitely should be able to contend for one, if not win it, because now we obviously Tom Brady just retired again. But so now the Buccaneers signed Baker Mayfield. He has some weapons down there with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, of course. But I think this is the Saints' year to finally come back and reclaim the title, the division title, I mean. But that's funny, like how you were saying earlier, like how Derek Carr obviously declined to waive his no-trade clause. That way the New Orleans Saints wouldn't be able to get any compensation in return. I love it because, like, obviously, like how you were saying, like, they didn't do him right, so why would he do right for them? And it's all like, talk about petty, right? But no, but I'm glad
but that's like the best petty.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just think about it. And they ended up, right? They ended up losing Stidham to Denver. So now you have to go get Jimmy G. Right? And so now you're not Derek Carr, this last season you saw a couple 20, 30-yard down passes to Devontae. You're not going to see that now with Jimmy. You know, you're not going to see those long touchdowns. So Raider fans must be really sad now, and then they're gonna realize how much they miss Derek Carr and how much they could have done something more with Devontae.
Yeah, definitely, because Jimmy G isn't the flashy type. He's a good quarterback, but he's more of a game manager. You know, get your checkdowns here and there, hand the ball off, but he'll make those completion. He'll get those pass completions when you really need them. But moving on from this, speaking about another quarterback, the Seattle Seahawks actually re-signed quarterback Geno Smith. Like we're talking about Petty over here, Mr. I didn't write back, you know, like they wrote me off or whatever, but I never wrote back. But I love it. You know, that's that actually they paid him a good amount. It was a 3-year deal for $105 million. But I actually like this contract for the Seahawks at least because over like about half of that contract will come within the first year. So $52 million of the $105 will be within the first year. So that leaves it around about, let's just say, $25-ish million for the last 2 years. So that's not bad. Like if they need to like trade him or, you know, like worst case scenario, something happens, they're front loading the contract. That way it doesn't hurt them later on. And then another team that, another team quick, that is messing with.
You bring this up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just want to say, on your in the opinion for your side is, since you like this contract and it was a 3 years, do you think they're gonna either draft the rookie this draft or next draft draft the quarterback and let go Drew Lock, and eventually to be the franchise quarterback to take over after Geno Smith's contract?
Honestly, I'm not sure about. I'm not too sure because I haven't really looked into the Seattle Seahawks draft positions, like what picks they have and all that. But they obviously can't go wrong getting another quarterback. I mean, a backup quarterback. I mean, because Drew Lock obviously isn't it. Like he had a couple good plays or a couple good games in Denver, but obviously they took the first chance they could get rid of him. Obviously, Russell Wilson didn't pan out yet, but it was only year one. We'll see what happens year two. But I wouldn't be surprised if they take a quarterback this draft, you know, like obviously not super high up because Geno Smith is their guy as of right now. But because we know how quickly things can change in the NFL. But I think I wouldn't rule it out that they draft a quarterback just to be kind of a backup. And that way Geno Smith can kind of mentor him, you know, like, because you never know, honestly, like if you have a good guy right there at the right pick, you know, like those value type picks, sometimes you just can't overpass them. And it's all like, you never know down the line, like worst case scenario, something happens, whether Geno Smith isn't performing or he can't perform anymore, you know, they already have somebody that knows the system and can like kind of help bridge the way from Geno to whoever the next quarterback is, whether it's them or someone else.
Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking. Like the 3-year, it doesn't look like. Obviously, it's not long term, and I feel like towards either after that 3-year, they might give him a 1 or 2 year contract, but it's to be the mentor to who's going to be the next franchise, who's going to be the next Russell Wilson. You know?
Yeah, definitely. But speaking of somebody else who doesn't really value their own franchise quarterback, the Baltimore Ravens, they placed the non-exclusive franchise tag on quarterback Lamar Jackson, and this one's really annoying me, because like Lamar Jackson, he's only 25, 26. He's a former league MVP. And with this non-exclusive franchise tag, the Ravens have the right to match any team's offer sheet. So Lamar's still free to go and negotiate with other teams and all that. But if they decline to match any offer sheet that Lamar receives, they get the Baltimore Ravens, get 2 first-round picks in return. And the thing that's annoying me about this is that, like, man, it's Lamar Jackson. He's not a running quarterback. He's a quarterback that can run. So the fact that there's other teams around the league that could use a quarterback, aka the Atlanta Falcons, the fact that they just said that they're not going to pursue
they're
Jackson,
going with their rookie or second year.
Yeah, But that's the thing, though. So like, this guy hasn't. This is former MVP Lamar Jackson, right? You're telling me that second year quarterback is better than Lamar Jackson? Obviously, it's a way cheaper deal, whatever. But if any team doesn't have a quarterback and Lamar Jackson is available, I would wish my team would go get him, Like, obviously, I'm an Eagle fan. We have Hurts. But if we had someone else, that was only a rookie, I'd be like, that hasn't shown much yet. I would definitely want my team to go after Lamar. And it's like, I saw the Dolphins also weren't going to pursue Lamar, but I can understand that. They have Tua. I think Lamar is better than Tua, but I can see why the Dolphins are putting their future in Tua rather than going out and trying to give up future draft compensation for Lamar. So what are your thoughts on the Lamar situation?
So I like you were saying, I think it's interesting, and that was an interesting take that he's a quarterback that can run. He's not a running quarterback. Everyone sees it in one of those two sides. But to really go on that, like him or hate him, he's still, like you said, NFL MVP. He still has all these accolades and the best player on the Ravens. And if you don't consider him the best player, then he's behind Mark Andrews. So he's 1 or 2, either one, however you want to say it. So I think
number 1, no doubt.
Yeah. So it's however you want to put it, but at the end of it, I don't get what the Ravens are trying to do. And I just sign them. Who else are you gonna get better than Lamar Jackson to fit in your schemes and in your playing style? It's someone who's already knows it, who's already made it work. Who else are you gonna get? Are you gonna find someone in the draft like that? No. What's another quarterback right now that's young and who's able to run, like you said, who could throw the ball, and is it a free agent or a team's willing to trade? So I don't get it. The only way I think this is going is like, the only way I think they're going with this and is to not pay him as much money. And what they're going to do, like you mentioned, another team can offer him, contract, 3-year, let's just say 3-year, $105 million, right? Let's just say he gets the Geno Smith contract and he accepts it just to be somewhere else, just to not be in Baltimore. And like you said, Baltimore could just match it, and then he has to sign with them. So that's the only thing I see going on, is that they're just trying to match whoever would spend less than what Lamar's asking them. And they're going to take that leap with it. But other than that, I don't see what they're holding back on. I really don't. Jim Harbaugh, right? The one, Coach Harbaugh. He loves him. They love him there. He fits in their, like you said, the scheme, the playing style. So it doesn't make sense to me why it's going this long. And like you said, it's annoying that it's going this long. Even as a Packer fan, having to deal with Aaron Rodgers not letting us know if we're getting a last season with him or not until, it happened yesterday at the Pat McAfee show. But even before then, like, I know what it's like to wait that long. And this is not even Lamar's fault.
Mm-hmm.
This is all on the Ravens. So it doesn't make sense to me. Just get it done. You see all these other teams not going for him. There has to be a reason. Either it's the money or something else that's going on. But there's a reason why even the Dolphins will put their money in Tua, he's like a concussion away from retiring. Which is crazy to me that one, they're sticking to him. It's the truth though. It's the truth. They're putting him out there, and he's a concussion away from retiring. So it's like that's why they went to go get Mike White. This off season. But it's like you're telling me that you rather risk one concussion on a player and have a backup Mike White than have Lamar Jackson. So either it's something we don't know about Lamar Jackson that these teams don't like, but other than that, the Ravens just had to get it done, and I hate that they're waiting on it.
I don't think there's anything that Lamar's hiding or any of that. I think it's just the league trying to stick it back to the players and be like, you guys don't control this league. As in the league, the owners, we're the one that run it, So just because you say you deserve this does not mean you're going to get it. You're going to get what we want to pay you, and you're going to be happy with it. So I think it's more of a league owner mentality, just trying to everyone's all like, all right, we're all going to stick together, because if one of us crumble for Lamar, who's to say that this won't happen more times in the future, But it's the Ravens are just a sticky situation. Like, their organization is like, bro, you have a generational player in Lamar Jackson. He's already won an MVP with his team, obviously, but they do not build around him. Like, aside from Mark Andrews, and then Marquise Brown is a good receiver, but he isn't that wide receiver one that Jackson deserves, So that's why Mark Andrews is his number one target. And then J.K. Dobbins, he's a good back, obviously, but he's had his injury concerns. But that's what I'm saying. They need to build
definitely
around
have to find
Lamar.
A running back. I was going to say, I completely agree with you. They need to build around Lamar in a way that would help him where he could still run the ball and getting receivers where you could throw the ball. Like you said, Marquise Brown, he's a good wide receiver. He's not a wide receiver 1. He's a wide receiver 2 at best, maybe a 3 depending on who you have on your squad. Now the question is, who do they go get for him? And not only that, in the running back position, who do you get to help there? Because like you said, J.K. Dobbins, good running back, injury prone. And at least from the draft, the running back that I like, that obviously they don't need to get, but it's Bijan Robinson out of Texas, great running back. I think he's really a future star running back in the NFL. If obviously if things plan right, but I think he could really leave his mark here. And obviously the Ravens like Lamar running a lot, and they say running back. If you're running back, don't go there because he's going to take all the runs and everything. But if they want to limit Lamar's running a little bit so it allows the running backs to run, I think Bijan could be there, and he's not too injury prone. So you're starting with someone there, but you got to build around them, which also means experience. So you got to also look for experienced running back also. So I don't know. Do you have any wide receiver running back in mind that they could go for right now? That would be a wide receiver 1.
I don't have any in mind as of right now, but it's my point about Marquise Brown was that he was their wide receiver 1. Obviously, he got traded to the Cardinals before last season, but that's what I'm trying to prove. It's all you guys have a decent receiver, and then you guys trade him away from Lamar. It's all are you guys trying to take weapons away from Lamar, or are you guys trying to help Lamar? It feels like they're trying to take weapons away that way. I don't know, man. Just this whole Ravens situation, it's just crazy. So I don't have anyone in particular that I would target for them. But like you said, Bijan, he's someone that flew onto my radar. I was hoping the Eagles could get him with the 30th pick in the first round, but they have some other holes that they should use their two first rounders on for the defensive. But if Bijan's there at 30, I think I might be rooting for the Eagles to take him at number 30, because Bijan he's gonna be a stud.
He in Texas. I don't like Texas. I don't like the University of Texas, but that dude could run. That dude was pushing the ball down. I was like, damn, bro. how's this? How do they not win games, like some of their games, when you got him running it? And, you know, Ewers got hurt, couple, you know, turnover, interceptions and stuff like that happened on. Obviously now they got Archie Manning, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Bijan, he really stood out, and a lot of teams could use a running back like him. You know, you got, like you said, your Eagles, the Bills could use one.
Definitely, Bills.
Who else could use one? Seahawks, maybe, if they want to have a pair of young running backs. If they want to,
yeah, because they have Kenny Walker right now.
Exactly. So you could do Rams, Chargers. If Eckler ends up leaving, as we said, he asked for a trade. Could always end up leaving. We need another. The only other ones there, they drafted one last draft, but get as much playing time. But you have Joshua Kelly, but obviously he doesn't get as many touches as Austin. So maybe you want to start with Bijan. But like we said, it more focused back on to the Ravens, and they could use them. But yeah, back to Lamar. Dude, Ravens, just hurry up. Just sign them already, dude. Like, I have nothing else to say.
It's all like, I can't believe that they didn't get a long-term deal done with him. It's all like, I'm not saying the Browns should have done it, but like, if the Browns are over here giving $230 million guaranteed to Deshaun Watson, then the Ravens should have given Lamar his $250 million contract. He deserves it. This guy is an MVP caliber player. We've already seen him win one, so it's all like, Ravens, just do right by your man. Sign the man to a long term.
Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't have even been a question. You know, obviously, maybe you'll sign someone else to work the cap with franchise tag, who is your franchise, okay. But it shouldn't have been a question to where now even us, we're like, okay, when are they going to sign him? Are they going to sign him? It just should have been, okay, it's been said they're going to sign him just once they figure out all their money situation and everything going on. But they did different. They did opposite.
Nah, man. So from one quarterback trying to find a big contract to another, New York Giants extended their quarterback, Daniel Jones, with a 4-year, $160 million deal. So it's all like Danny Dimes over here getting $40 million a year, but they don't want to pay Lamar $50. I'm all like, come on. Like, I'm not saying Daniel Jones is terrible, but they might have overpaid for him, but you know, that's sometimes you just got to do it. And then with this deal, that meant that they had to franchise tag running back Saquon Barkley. You know, so Saquon, in my opinion, is their best player on the team, offensive, like on the offense. And but maybe Daniel Jones will live up to the contract because they also traded for tight end Darren Waller from the Raiders. And that wasn't a bad deal because if Darren Waller can stay healthy, they only traded away a 3rd-round pick. Like, that's still kind of high, but I think Darren Waller can really pay off in the end for them. So what do you think about the Giants situation?
I mean, like we both said, Danny Dimes is not worth the $40 million. And I think at one point it was like he was almost asking for 45, and I was like, dude, come on. You're not you had one better season than your last, and you're asking. But props to him and his agent that really pushing that. I don't know what they told the Giants. I don't know what the Giants saw. I guess they saw, you know, they see that potential upside and everything in that. Yeah, he had a better season. I don't know, I would say great season, but he had a much better season this year. Went to the playoffs. Coach, I forgot the coach's name.
Coach Dable.
Coach Dable. Yeah, he took him back to the playoffs, and all props to all of them. But he is not with the $40 million. 30, 35, sure. You know, give him that 4-year, 30, 35 a year contract. But in return, they really left out Saquon like that, who's been on the team even through the hardest times. You know, and that it's messed up, and hopefully Saquon realizes that, and maybe next season he kind of goes somewhere else. You know, there's always talks that he'll go to Buffalo, and that'd be sick because Buffalo's a running back away and better play calling away from a Super Bowl. You know, so it sucks for Saquon, and personally, I never really liked the Giants, so I wish he went out. I wouldn't want to see him there, but now, like we said, with Darren Waller, they're just more of an opportunity. You know, you got another person to throw to, another receiver to throw to, and no one. Now we could see any trick plays with Saquon, more opening running with Saquon. Now that there's more options and possibilities, so sucks, but they're trying to make it work, and that's props to them.
Yeah.
But they kind of got robbed at Danny Dimes, and kind of adding to the Darren Waller thing that you brought it up. I don't know if you Robert Griffin kind of joked and said that Josh McDaniels was mad that Darren Waller didn't get invited to the wedding, and then Darren Waller's wife, I forgot, she plays for the Las Vegas Ace, and she was like,
Aces, yeah.
She was like, yeah, he probably got mad. Yeah.
Yeah, the tweet that Robert Griffin was all like, I guess Josh McDaniels' wedding gift to Darren Waller is trading him to New York and all that.
It's trading him.
He's like, I guess he's not a romantic. And then Kelsey Plum, the star from the Las Vegas Aces,
Kelsey Plum,
his wife, she's all like, he's probably pissed off or whatever because he wasn't invited to the wedding. I'm like, bruh. I'm like, Josh McDaniels, bro. You guys have some decent pieces down there, but you know how to mess up a team, really. But man,
we don't know what he's doing down there because there's a lot of things going on. Idea. You have Devontae, but you get a quarterback that doesn't, use him for more than 15 yards. You know, you have a running back and Josh Jacobs, who at the beginning of the season, I remember watching the preseason and commentators were saying that the Raiders were not going to pick up his player option for the 5th year. They weren't going to pick his player option, going to let him go. And I was like, he deserves to go. Obviously, he didn't have the great season that he had. This was before having this great season that he had. Yeah. But I liked him, and I thought he deserves better than another team. Just to come find out he was franchise tag, I was like, bro, just let him leave. Yeah. Like, he doesn't – like, just let him go. But –
that's what happens.
It is what it is. He has to deal another year. He has to deal with another year and see how that goes. Hopefully he doesn't resign. I hope he goes somewhere better.
Not another year of Josh McDaniels, man, but all this, Josh McDaniels, that man, I don't know what the hell's going on over there. But speaking of the Raiders, they also signed Jimmy G to a 3-year deal. They also signed wide receiver Jacoby Myers on another 3-year, $33 million deal. But that one was funny because that was the deal that Jacoby Myers got from the Raiders. And then I want to say like a day later, the Patriots signed wide receiver Juju Smith to the exact same deal. 3 years, $33 million.
Yep.
And it's all like, damn, man. It's like, I'm not saying, I mean, I would skip the slight edge to Juju, but the fact that they were like, nah, Jacoby, we can't pay you that. And then they pay the exact same contract to a player from another team. It's like, damn, that's kind of messed up, But it was kind of funny seeing his reaction. I'm pretty sure, I think he tweeted about it and everything.
Yeah, just the funny thing about it is someone on Twitter joked around and said it was the Raider connection that he had when the Patriots played the Raider at the end and he gave him the game-winning touchdown. They're like, that's the reason why they signed him. It was that connection, but that kind of surprised me too. Juju going to the Patriots. I didn't think they were looking at him, but I guess they figured, like you said, slightly Juju over Jacoby, so. They thought the same, and they figured.
Yeah, so the Patriots signed Juju, like I just said. They also signed running back James Robinson to a 2-year deal worth the maximum of $8 million. So I mean, I've always been a big J-Rob fan. Like anybody that knows me, I always draft him in fantasy, and then he ends up panning out. And then like last year, he had a good couple first games, and then after that, the Jaguars and the Jets both just completely just throw him to the end of the bench, and it was all like, you're not playing. It's like, you're healthy, but you're not playing. So that's all I hope that he can come back to form, because I want to say he was a 7th round pick in the 2020 draft. And then he just burst onto the scene and he had a great rookie season. So I'm just hoping that he's able to get that opportunity with the Patriots and really show everyone what he's really made of. And then a couple more signings that happened before we get to our teams. The Bears signed TJ Edwards from the Eagles. They also signed linebacker Tremaine Edwards from the Bills. And then another Eagle was taken from us this time by the San Francisco 49ers. They took our defensive tackle, Javon Hargrave, to a 4-year, $84 million deal. And then the Detroit Lions, you mentioned that Jamal Williams signed with the Saints. So now coming in for the Detroit Lions, they took running back David Montgomery to a 3-year, $18 million deal. So it's like, I think with this signing, David Montgomery, I see him as a running back 1, and they already have DeAndre Swift. So it's all like, we obviously have seen Swift and deal with injuries and all that. So I feel like this is a good deal for the Lions because 1, they're getting him for cheap. 2, it's a great 1-2 punch if Swift is able to stay healthy, and if not, you got a good quality back in David Montgomery. Because they already have Amon-Ra St. Brown. And then Jared Goff had a decent season last year. So this can really – we saw the Lions end the season on a pretty hot streak. So the Lions are one of my favorite teams. Like, I don't know if you watch Hard Knocks, but they were on Hard Knocks the preseason last year. And just seeing the culture that Coach Campbell's building there in Detroit, it's all like, bro, you'd run through a brick wall for that, man,
Before you go on that. So the Lions, yeah. I wanted to watch the Hard Knocks. I didn't get to it. But I do get this last season was really where, even if you're not a Lions fan, you kind of rooted for them. You kind of rooted for them to do good. You wanted to see them going. You saw how everything was going good for them. Even the losses, even some of the losses was really close games. I think they lost to the Seahawks by couple points, in a team that you didn't know how it was going to go.
In a high-scoring game, yeah.
Yeah, in a very high-scoring game. So I think the Lions had a great season, and they showed a lot of upside. I just think it sucks that they let go Jamal Williams, but like you said, they got David Montgomery. I think Swift is still going to be the RB1, but like you said, injury-prone might lead to David Montgomery becoming the RB1 midway through the season or whenever if Swift gets hurt. But like you said, they have weapons now. They have young weapons now. And now, so they're slowly building that chemistry, and they could trust in each other and continue going on. I could see them making playoffs at 6 or 7.
But speaking of running backs, sticking with my division, the Cowboys cut Zeke Elliott, and I think his contract is the reason why we're seeing so many teams be so cautious when it comes to signing running backs to big contracts, because we saw Zeke, he held out, he got his, I want to say 5-year, $90 million deal. And obviously right after he got that, he started declining right away because Zeke came onto the scene and he was a stud. But I think I want to say every single year he's declined a little by little, So now it's to the point where it's all like, all right, Zeke, we're not going to keep paying you this much when Tony Pollard can easily be our running back 1. But yeah, and then the Cowboys also, they acquired cornerback Stephon Gilmore from the Colts in exchange for a 5th round pick. Sorry, and I don't know, man. With Cowboys, I saw them trying to get Stephon Diggs there because his brother is a cornerback there in Dallas as well. I don't know if you've seen them trying to that. I saw a thing where they were talking about how Stephon Diggs unfollowed the Bills and started following the Cowboys. So if that happens, I'd be like, damn, that's crazy. That'd be CD and Diggs. That'd be a stacked team, because but the only thing that they're
perfect.
The only thing I'd be scared about,
they're just a perfect quarterback.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. The only thing I'd be scared about is Dak Prescott trying to fit it into a double coverage or something, and he's going to get picked off. He missed, 5 or 6 games, and he still was tied for the league in interceptions last season. Yeah. It's not like, come on, man. If people want to say that he's the best quarterback in the NFC East, stop disrespecting Jalen Hurts, man. Jalen Hurts is that guy. He is him. Call him Himothy, bro. He is him. He's a savior. But yeah.
That's crazy because I remember you guys were getting mad about drafting Jalen Hurts.
No.
I remember Eagles fans, they didn't like the pick.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a Wentz guy, but I was a Wentz guy, but I'm so glad. I've never been more happy to be wrong. And then, so I feel like so. And then another trade that went down, the Miami Dolphins, they acquired cornerback Jalen Ramsey from the Rams. I always mess around with one of my buddies. He's a Rams fan. I'm I don't know, James Ramsey gets burnt, but I think that's a good that's a good exchange for them because they gave up a 2023 third-round pick and then a tight end, Hunter Long. I think this is a deal that could work out for the Dolphins. And then one of the bigger deals that we saw happen, the Carolina Panthers acquired the number 1 pick from the Chicago Bears. And I really like this deal because the Bears receive DJ Moore, a weapon for Justin Fields, the number 9 pick, number 61 pick, a 2024 first rounder, and a 2025 second rounder. I feel like they could have maybe gotten another first rounder thrown in there, but I feel like the fact that they got DJ Moore is what kind of held them back a little. But I like this pick because, obviously their number 1, people are thinking it's going to be Bryce Young out of Alabama or CJ Stroud at Ohio State. So the Bears don't need the number 1 pick because they already have Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a good quarterback. They just need to give him a good O-line and some pieces around him because obviously we just talked about David Montgomery leaving, whatever. But I like DJ Moore coming in, and then with that 9th pick, they could probably get a solid offensive tackle that can really protect Justin Fields because we know that O-line was bad. So I'm glad that the Bears traded it away, not because I'm a Bears fan or whatever, not that I care so much about that, but I'm just glad that they didn't give up on Justin Fields because the whole narrative, should they trade Justin Fields and draft Bryce Young, or should they trade the number 1 pick and build around Fields? It's all like, if you trade away Justin Fields, it's the same thing's going to happen with Bryce Young or whichever quarterback you pick. They're not going to have an O-line. They're not going to have a solid weapons around. So it's just going to be the whole cycle all over again. What do you think about that?
And in my opinion, I think Justin Fields is even more ready than Bryce Young. If you're looking at Bryce Young, how he played in Alabama, obviously Heisman Trophy winner, he's done all of this, but he doesn't look like the quarterback that the Bears needed. Justin Fields is not scared to play. That man, he'll run at you. We saw him run, 2 long touchdowns, 1 really long, but he's not afraid to run. He's not afraid to throw. He's not afraid to do what it takes. While Bryce Young hasn't got into that. He still looks a little scared, even at Bama, even with all the confidence and being QB1 and everything. But Justin Fields was their quarterback, and I agree with you. I'm glad that they stuck with him and realized that their issue is somewhere else. Now, like you said, now they have DJ Moore, who is going to be their wide receiver 1 this year. Chase Claypool, who I believe should be coming back from injury. He's the wide receiver 2. So now you have an offensive line that gives him more time to throw the ball or run out of the pocket, whatever he needs. Yeah.
He's wide receiver 3 behind Darnell Mooney. Mooney's number 2.
Mooney's number 2, right. Sorry, my bad. Claypool at 3. But even then, it's getting better. Even as a Packer fan, I hate the Bears. I love seeing the memes of Jordan Love's the new owner of the Bears now. I love seeing all of that. But in their own perspective, in their own side, they needed to trade that first pick, right? And they did it. And in my opinion, they fleeced Carolina. 1 pick for a player in 4 or 5 picks, they fleeced them. They have their future to look forward to, and not just the O-line, but on defense as well, right? And if you want, you could draft a third-round wide receiver if you want, but or another running back if you want. But they did great, and not only that, this whole offseason, they've been signing players. They've been trying to beef up the O-line as well, the D-line. They've been throwing money out there. So they did a really great job. And like you said, I'm glad they stuck to Fields because he is their quarterback. He has that confidence. He played good. Obviously, he needs to work on whatever, but it's going to be his third year?
And it's not like, what young quarterback doesn't have something to work on?
Exactly. What doesn't? And why would you restart with CJ Stroud or Bryce Young or Anthony Richardson, whoever was going to be there first, right? There's no point. Now you leave that to Carolina, where clearly they're going to rebuild. Me personally, I didn't think Carolina should have tried to get a quarterback because I think they needed to work on other stuff before getting a quarterback. But it was already too late. Once you make that pick, once you make that trade, you have to go quarterback, right? Like there's nothing else they're going. So that's their issue. But like focus on the Bears. I agree with you. They did a great thing, and they're moving forward. Now, as a Packer fan, I don't like seeing that. But, you see the progress.
Yeah, that's funny. It's not like, as a Packers fan, obviously, the big news right now, like I mentioned earlier, Aaron Rodgers is pending move to the Jets. Obviously, they're still working out the compensation and everything. But Aaron Rodgers has said, I intend to play for the Jets next year. How are you feeling as a Packer fan? Because I feel like this is an ongoing drama that's been going on since they drafted Jordan Love, which I don't think they should have done that. They should have gotten Rodgers another weapon, but whatever, it's in the past. How do you feel as a Packer fan now with all this Rodgers to the Jets drama?
I'm relieved that we know our answer already. I'm relieved that we know what we're doing and what's going on. And I don't know if all Packer fans are going to agree with me on this. I don't know if just football fans are going to agree with me on this. But me personally, at the end of this season, I was ready to move on for Rodgers. Not to say I don't love him. That man, he did everything, what he could for 15 years as a starter for the Packers. He got us a Super Bowl. He took us to the playoffs multiple times. Obviously, we just can't get it done. We just couldn't get it done, whatever whatever the situation was. But all Packers fans love Aaron Rodgers. We're grateful for what he did. He will always be a Packer legend. But it was time to move on. It was already time. We can't have Jordan Love sitting on the bench another year. When is he going to get that start? When is he going to start learning from those mistakes? We already have our wide receivers, our young wide receivers, who's going to go into the second year at Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. We have to get that going. Tunyon, who's going to be there. I wouldn't be surprised if Packers get like a 4th round tight end, 5th round tight end, something later on to where we get a tight end who's young to work with the scheme. And we still have an O-line that could protect Jordan Love right now. And because of all of this, I was just ready to move on. I was just ready to go. Let Aaron Rodgers follow the Brett Favre plan, let him go to New York and do what he needs to do over there. The Brett, hopefully he doesn't come back to the Vikings. That one was but as that goes, I'm just grateful for seeing him. One thing I don't like though is that we never got a last dance. We never got a 1 year because we thought it was last dance with Devontae was still with us that last year, 2 years ago. It wasn't it. It was just Devontae leaving. And then this year we're like, okay, was that our last year? We couldn't celebrate him the way Packer fans would have want to, and that's what I didn't like. And I wish if that was the situation, I'm not saying we should have kept Aaron or we should keep Aaron, but I wish we had a season where we could celebrate him the way we want to, no matter what, whether it made playoffs or not. I just wanted to appreciate him in a whole season. But like Aaron said on the Pat McAfee show, when he talked about it, he said he was 90% retiring. He was going into his no light slumber 4 or 5 days, 90% retiring. And for some reason that made me feel better than him going to the Jets. And the only reason why he's going to the Jets is because the GM of the Packers originally told him, hey, take your time, make your decision, do what you want. As soon as he came back out, he told him, hey, man, we've been shopping you around. We've been looking. And that made him say, okay, all right, fine. I'm going to play another year. My intention is to play for another team. And it was clear it was for the Jets. I'm glad it's not in the NFC. But, dude, he could have been retiring. He could have retired. Yeah. Or if anything, if he was going to retire, they could have been like, hey, let's finish this contract. If $50 million is too much, though. It is a lot. I wish they would have reworked it where they drop him a lot and be like, okay, let's just get you your farewell tour. Let's get you going on that, if you're going to retire. But it is what it is. I'm ready for the future. I don't think we're going to make playoffs this season. If we do, it would be 7th, but honestly, I don't think we're going to make playoffs. And I'm okay with that for this season. And just let Jordan Love going. Just get him going. Aaron Rodgers says he's a good kid. He's going to be a great player. let's just see this going. And I'm ready for the future of the Packers. But I'm just tired of drafting defensive players from Georgia, bro. I'm just tired of just seeing
Georgia
the first round pick
dogs,
going
bro.
to someone.
No
Georgia.
pun intended.
I get that. I get it. I get that. They're good players, but dude, we need wide receivers, and this is what started this whole train wreck. Was getting Jordan Love, who I don't think anyone was going to draft in the first or second round. They could have saved that. Yeah. They could have used that pick. If they wanted to trade up and get Justin Jefferson. We had Justin Jefferson in that draft, and you let him go to the Vikings. Or even the Eagles. You guys messed up and let him go to the Vikings.
Oh, bro, come. I was about to say, don't go there.
Right? And then somehow the Vikings ended with both picks.
Yeah.
Right?
Nah, that's what I was going to say. I'm all like, you're over here talking about Justin Jefferson. How do you think we feel? And I get flamed for this every year. Dude, this comes up so often, like, it's all like Jalen Reagor out of TCU. I'm like, I was so ready for Justin Jefferson, dude. I was like, this is going to be our guy. I didn't think he was going to be this amazing as he was coming straight out. But I did really want Justin Jefferson. So once they said Jalen Reagor, I'm like, who? What? No way, dude. No way. Justin Jefferson is right there. And then you see the video of the Vikings front office laughing. And it's like, bro, I still get heat for not heat. I still get made fun of till this day. Eagles pass on JJ, and I'm like, don't remind me.
Jordan Love should have been drafted in the 3rd, 4th round, whatever the situation was. But it is what it is, and now we look forward to the future. That's how I see it as a Packers fan, and I'm ready. But you're Eagles.
As an Eagles fan,
somehow it worked out. Just imagine Justin Jefferson with you guys in the Super Bowl. Would have been different,
bro. If we would have had JJ, oh, dude, that would have been lights out. I mean, we don't have at that point. Maybe we don't have Devontae Smith because obviously the Eagles would have been slightly better. We wouldn't have been that high, but having JJ would have been amazing. But things happen for a reason, whatever. But now I'm excited for this season because obviously we lost some key players on the defensive end, but we were able to still re-sign some of our core players like defensive end Brandon Graham, center Jason Kelsey. We got cornerback James Bradbury back on a team-friendly deal. Everybody thought that he was going to be the one that was going to leave to get paid, but he's actually the one that's. I'm like, all right, let's go. And then we also got defensive tackle Fletcher Cox back. We also saw Darius Slay saying, well, is he going to leave? Is he going to stay? But it looks like Slay is here to stay in Philly. But the only one I'm waiting on now is CJ Gardner-Johnson, man. Every Philly fan wants him back. I hope they get him back, but it's all like he's not on Rodgers level type where he's all like, oh, this, and that, whatever. But it's all like CJ's over here tweeting out something different every day. And then even earlier, I think it was earlier today or last night, can't remember for sure. But he tweeted out saying the disrespect is real or something like that. And then he just deletes it right away. I'm like, bro, come on. What, I don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but Eagles just need to get CJ Gardner-Johnson back because he's our safety. He's the quarterback of the defense, so he's a very valuable piece. I hope he returns. Because if he does, it's over, man. Jalen Hurts coming off the Super Bowl loss, we were some bad plays away from a Super Bowl. So I think Jalen Hurts is going to use this as motivation. I'm sure. I don't know if you've seen it, but all his little motivational stuff whenever something happens. So he always holds his head high, and he never hangs his head on something. Once it happens, he's like, all right, it's all good. I'm gonna learn from this and we'll move on. So I'm really excited to see what Hurts does this season, and coming off a full off season of oh my God, we lost the Super Bowl, whatever. But I think he's gonna make an even bigger leap this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's gonna be even bigger, even greater. The thing is, it kind of looks like you guys are losing a lot of pieces. So now it's wondering, are you guys going to go back to the Super Bowl, or was it just a one-time thing right now? And who's going to be the top, right? You got need so many players. At least you got your star center back, right? You got Kelsey back, but now some players leaving. Who's going to come in? You got coaches. You got your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator leaving. So.
No, yeah, but the thing about that is I think the defense, obviously we lost both coordinators, but the defensive side will be the one that has to do a slightly more, like a more adjustment because it's a new defensive coordinator coming from another team. He has his own system that he's going to implement. But I think on the offensive side, we should be fine because sure, we lost Sanders, but we also got Rashad Penny. I think he'll be a nice piece behind our O-line. But the offensive coordinator, they promoted him from the quarterback. He was a quarterback's coach originally with the Eagles. So he knows Jalen Hurts. He knows his strengths. And I think we'll be fine with offense. It just comes down to the defense, if anything, but like you said, we lost a couple key players. We lost both our linebackers, Kaiser White and TJ Edwards. But we have Nakobe Dean out of Georgia, the defensive team that you hate. But yeah, so we got
I don't hate them, just tired of all of them coming, man.
Yeah. So it's like we got Nakobe Dean. He'll step in as probably a starting linebacker. And then we also have Jordan Davis, defensive tackle at Georgia, that'll probably take over for Javon Hargrave. So I'm like, sure, we have a new system, a couple new players to input, but I'm excited. I think we'll be fine. I see another Super Bowl run in our future, and I'm not being super optimistic about it. You know, I'm not trying to be biased. I just say it because I truly do believe it. Because if I thought the Eagles were going to be trash this season, I would say it. But I think that they're poised for another Super Bowl run. That's all I have for today. Yeah. Anything else you want to mention before we take off?
No, just on the last part of the Eagles. Yeah, I agree with you. Eventually in the future, you'll have it. Interesting thing, you guys kept Boston Scott. So he's your running back now with Rashad Penny. So let's see how they figure that out. And who's going to be RB1.
Yeah. It's RB1's going to come down to either Rashad Penny or Kenneth Gainwell. Because Boston Scott's more of our third down back. Yeah, but I don't know, man.
I just meant you guys kept him, but Gainwell.
No, yeah, but I like Boston Scott though. He always comes up clutch against the Giants. He's the Giants killer around our end.
He's a Giants killer, but that man's only getting 1 yard touchdowns.
Whenever he played the Giants, he has his best games. But yeah, man. Thanks for taking time out of your day to come onto the podcast. Like I said earlier, you can catch Gio on his own podcast. He's the co-host of Sideline Thoughts. And Gio, man, we go back to CSUN, man. So I got to bring you back for another episode. That way we can get down to NBA, Lakers versus Clippers. You know, we don't have I wish we had more time, but we don't. But we definitely need to get you back because, like I said, you're gonna have your Skip Bayless takes. I'll be Shannon Sharp. And
okay, my Clippers are in the play. Okay, but yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back.
Okay,
I'll be back.
Right. I'm telling you this right now. I'm telling you this right now. Lakers are gonna make the playoffs. If you want to wager, that's on you. But the Lakers will be in the playoffs.
I'll bet it. I'll bet it. I'm betting. Lakers won't make playoffs. They're getting 11 seed. They're getting 11 seed. That's what I'm telling you.
No,
I don't think they're even going to make play. They won't.
What do you want to put a case of? Undisputed style. They do a case of do. What do you want to do? Case of what?
We'll do a case of Gatorades right now. We'll start off with
Gatorade.
We'll do a case of Gatorades. I'll make it easy for you when you have to pay me. When you have to ship it.
Okay. Now I'll make sure to send you the link of where to send it to. That way, once the Lakers are in the playoffs, I'll make sure to hold you to your word.
All right. Well, just to get it on record, is it play in or is it playoffs?
I'm saying playoffs. That's how confident I am. Oh, yeah.
I don't even have you guys making the play in, but okay.
No, we'll see. Put a case of Gatorade on
when I'm back.
So thanks for taking your time out of your day to come onto the podcast. Appreciate it. And to everybody else who supported the podcast by watching or listening to this episode, thank you. And we'll see you again on the very next episode of the Sports Planet Podcast.
Life is good. I've decided.